Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, and for whatever reason, Steam's got quite a few great game deals available right now, so I just want to highlight some really good ones. Obviously, we're a couple weeks away from the Steam Winter Sale, and I plan on covering that quite in depth. However, there are a lot of deals right now. So if you're looking to pick some stuff up, I've got some recommendations, and we'll go over this relatively quickly. Got a total of 10 games, so let's get right into it. I want to kick things off with Hunt Showdown, which is 50% off for $19.99. Really good multiplayer title. Would strongly recommend this if you are playing with a couple of friends, because this is one of those games that if you're playing alone, yeah, you can have a good time just playing, but I think the quality of the game is really accentuated once you have a couple of buddies to play with, so if you can jump in. It's developed by Crytek, so the visuals are absolutely gorgeous, and it's got that multiplayer survival thing going on for it. You can spend quite a bit of time on it. I played it quite a bit on PlayStation 4, actually, outside of the PC version, and the PS4 version is not ideal. Get it on PC, it's quite good, especially if you do have decent specs to run it. It's not like completely crippling to run, but it is a more difficult title to run. Next up, we have Dying Light Enhanced Edition. That is 70% off for $17.99. I think this is a great deal. Dying Light's a fantastic game that came out almost 6 years ago. Wow, time is really flying as far as that's concerned, but it was a really good game. Open world parkour survival horror title. The parkour gameplay I thought was really good. Visually, it looks great. Techland did a really good job on the PC version of this title. Pretty good to run as well. It's not like you need crazy specs at all. So strong recommendation if you're looking for a game. Yes, I know, what is it, $18 is a little bit pricey, but I think it's a quality enough game where it is very much worth it. Okay, next up, do want to give a shout to Frostpunk, which is 66% off for $10.19. This is done by 11-Bit Studios, the same studio that made This War of Mine. Maybe you guys are familiar with that game. Frostpunk is kind of a way more grandiose take of this style of game that they're going for. They're going for really dark games. Like, if you play This War of Mine, like, I don't know what 11-Bit Studios is on, but I love it. They make games that are very they kind of make you feel a certain kind of way emotionally. Let's just put it that. I don't really know how to describe it vernacularly, but yeah. But just like This War of Mine, Frostpunk is a super dark game. This one obviously a little bit different with that city builder element going on for it, but you're going to have to make some decisions that, you know, if you have no heart, yeah, it's gonna be like really easy to make some decisions, but yeah, it's pretty emotionally moving. And also, I haven't played it since they've dropped some of the major updates. I saw a couple buddies actually play it, but they've been very committed to this game, and they've been regularly updating it, so go do 11-Bit Studios a solid. Frostpunk is a game that I played back when it originally came out in 2018, and I would give it a strong recommendation, and I played it before all of the updates and things of that nature were out, so $10.19, definitely a good buy there. Next up, Disgaea 5 Complete is 60% off for $16. Disgaea is a franchise where I think if you play one of them, you essentially know what to get out of it. I like the games. Yes, visually, they are nothing to write home about. These are games that, you know, they definitely don't accentuate on that level. However, these games are filled with content. You could play them for north of 100 hours, a lot of content here, and if you're a fan of strategy, JRPG is definitely going to be up your alley. Obviously, it is a JRPG, kind of leans into that element a little bit harder, so if you are kind of new to the JRPG genre, probably wouldn't recommend this as your first one, but I still think it's a solid game, especially if you are looking for a time sink. That is quite a good one. Okay, next up, we have Dead Space 2, 75% off for $5. Dead Space 1, 2, and 3 are on sale. I would recommend 1 and 2 really hard. Dead Space 3 is a little bit more for me. But Dead Space 2, in my opinion, is the best. I really enjoyed Dead Space 2. I thought it was a great survival horror title. Really, sometimes with Dead Space 1 and 2, the survival horror element kind of dissipates towards the latter portion of the game. I think that's with a lot of survival horror titles, but it's a great action third-person shooter, and I had a great time with it. $5, I think it's a great buy. Next up, we have South Park: The Stick of Truth, 75% off for $7.49. This was like one of the most surprisingly great games that I've ever played. I remember when I first picked it up, I was like, South Park, RPG, fundamental gameplay, like, is that gonna work at all? And you're talking to somebody that's not a big South Park fan, and I picked up Stick of Truth, and I was like, wow, I was blown away by how much I liked this game. I really dug it. I thought it was hilarious. I'm guessing this is the humor that's typically apparent in South Park, the television show, and I've watched a couple episodes here and there when friends are over and stuff like that, but I've never really paid attention. But yeah, it's hilarious and the gameplay works. It's a good working RPG, and I'd give it a shot for $7.49. I think that's a great buy. Alright, next up we have Saints Row 4. That is 80% off for $3. Saints Row 4, 3, and 2 are on sale. Saints Row 2 is like $2. But Saints Row 4, if you've never played a Saints Row game, they're wacky, off-the-wall, zany, open-world third-person shooters. Like, these are games that you should not be taking seriously at all. A lot of people see comparisons to Grand Theft Auto, and I can see it to an extent with it being an open-world game, but think Grand Theft Auto with a way, way more wackier look and, gameplay. It just does stuff that's really, really zany and off the wall, but I like that about Saints Row. It really does set it apart, and it already gives it that kind of appeal, and, it sets it apart from everything else on the market. For $3, I think it's a great buy, so I'd give that a look. Next up, Battlefield Bad Company 2 is 75% off for $5. When you talk about how to revitalize Battlefield, everybody talks about, like, a Battlefield 3 remake, do XYZ with Battlefield. Bro, just give me a Bad Company 3. Can you just give me a Bad Company 3 already? I feel like I've been on this train for the last, half decade or so, and for whatever reason, we just can't get another Bad Company. Whatever the case may be with that, Bad Company 2 is a tremendous game. There are still a few people online, and the single-player campaign is solid as well. I really like the single-player campaign of Bad Company 2, and hopefully, maybe at some point, if Bad Company 2 sells well enough and it continues to sell copies, EA will smarten the hell up. I was about to, say something not so nice, but they'll smarten the hell up, and we can get a Bad Company 3, but Bad Company 2 is great. I had a great time with this, so for $5, I'd definitely give that a look. The Long Dark is 75% off for $7.49. Now, I'll be straight up, these games are not my cup of tea, these survival-style games. However, I have friends that are super, super into Long Dark, and I know this is another studio that has been incredibly committed to this game. So, for those of you guys that like your survival titles, 75% off for $7.49. Long Dark is a game that, just from me noticing its price range, it does hold up in value, and it's probably because they kept it very much at a premier price point. A very positive reception on Steam, 93% based on the recent reviews. If you're into these games, you're going to enjoy it, and there is a narrative focus to it as well, so that's something I know a lot of people get really into. $7.49 seems to be a pretty good deal for that. And lastly, I do want to note, the recently released Wonderful 101 Remastered is 32% off for $27.19. Kind of a pricey title, 32% off isn't a steep discount, but this is a relatively recent release, and this is done by Platinum Games, originally a Nintendo Wii U title. On the Wii U, obviously, didn't get a lot of play, but this is a really, really unique game by Platinum, and if you guys know Platinum, you guys know they're an awesome studio. Good to see this one do really well on Kickstarter and get a PC release on top of that. I personally would probably wait for a little bit of a steeper discount, but I still think $27.19 is a pretty decent buy. I actually kickstarted this game, so it's a pretty nice way to get the game and support it. But at this point, try out the demo, see if you like it. There is a free demo available on Steam. Play that, see if you dig it, and if you enjoy it, maybe check it out for $27.19. I know I don't usually advocate spending that kind of money on a game, but yeah, you know how it is. Sometimes you do have to bite the bullet, and you gotta spend a little bit more on some of these games that are a little bit recent of a release, and I do see this one holding up in price for quite a while, just because it's one of those more niche titles. That's just my opinion, but yeah, that's gonna wrap up this video, guys. Again, a lot of great deals on Steam right now, and on top of that, the winter sale is coming up. A lot of other e-tailers will be running their respective winter sale, so a lot of great deals are gonna be coming. That's gonna wrap up this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you guys have a request for a future video, you can leave that in the comments as well, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.